Awaits his private plane. It's parked there. It's about, we're told, a 4-mile drive from his home to the airport. He'll get on the plane and he's expected to fly and land in Manhattan, New York, ahead of his scheduled court hearing, which is set for tomorrow.
Yeah, he's just pulling into the airport right now, according to what we see there on the ground. And you can see a line of protesters or supporters. We don't know which ones, obviously welcoming or ushering in this motorcade of this historic event. The former president facing indictment charges, obviously criminal charges in New York, and that is what he is going to be arraigned on tomorrow, but we will get the specifics once that indictment is unsealed tomorrow in New York. For the president's part, though, he has been telling his supporters on his website, Truth Social, to protest over this, and he says that he is innocent, and obviously that is why there's going to be heightened security all around the courthouse tomorrow and in and around Trump Tower in Manhattan, with NYPD out in full force as well. Now, the president, also the former president, does not have any plans to drop out of the 2024 presidential race. Obviously, that's something he's gearing up for. And in fact, many supporters flocking to his website and donations coming in, despite the fact that this former president is facing criminal charges. So we'll see how this all shapes out politically. But in the meantime, again, getting down to the nuts and bolts in terms of the legality of this case, it'll be really interesting to see once that indictment is unsealed and whether or not there are hard and fast facts that will really make this case stick to the former president.
Yeah, the exact charges that he faces not yet known. It'll be read fully tomorrow during the court proceeding, Manhattan Criminal Courts building, in the afternoon. So we have to wait for that. But some reports suggest the indictment does include around 30 charges related to the $130,000 payout to adult film star Stormy Daniels, the alleged payout that was made in an attempt to buy her silence over the affair she claims they had in 2016. The payout was made just before the 2016 presidential election, which, as you know, President Trump won over Hillary Clinton. Two other people who are familiar with this case told the AP that Mr. Trump is facing multiple charges of falsifying those business records, including at least one felony offense, which could be of a more serious charge. But really, at this point, we just have to wait and see what happens once they unseal that indictment.
You're looking at that motorcade, more than 10 cars long. So we are assuming that obviously he's flanked by security, Secret Service, but many aides perhaps coming with him as well on this trip, legal advisors perhaps. So clearly, we don't know if any family members are traveling with the former president as well. But take a look at that motorcade entering the airport right now, where the former president will be taking off from Florida, making the trip about 3 hours long, perhaps a little less, in terms of the flight time between Florida and New York City. So we will take a look at when he gets out of the motorcade and then gets onto his private plane right there in Florida.
Yeah, so he's expected to land at New York's LaGuardia Airport on his personal plane. And once he's there, he's going to spend the night. There is going to be extra security measures in place. That's what we're told. He's going to travel to the courthouse with a large Secret Service detail, and he's going to surrender voluntarily. He is not expected to be handcuffed, we're told. The former president will experience standard arrest procedures, just like anyone else, being fingerprinted, photographed, before investigators then complete the usual paperwork and check for any kind of outside warrants, just standard procedures. We did talk a little bit about the Trump Tower. That's where he's going to spend the night. You know, it's going to be a chaotic scene down there, a lot of extra security measures. NYPD, of course, on high alert. They've placed some barricades surrounding the building because they're expecting some demonstrators and protesters, perhaps as early as today, but definitely tomorrow before he actually makes his court appearance.
And if anyone knows that area in Manhattan, that's right at 5th Avenue and 57th, in the heart of basically what would be considered here in Los Angeles is perhaps Rodeo Drive, right, where all the high-end boutiques are, as well as a glitzy tourist attraction area. So keep in mind, barricading that area is a huge ordeal for tourists and for residents alike right there in Manhattan. But there you see the motorcade pulling right up to the president's private jet. And obviously it is very large. So in terms of his entourage and who will be traveling with him remains to be seen. But we are pushing into the shot right there to see if we could get a glimpse of the former president boarding the plane or anyone else who may be traveling with him. Again, it's unclear if any family members or legal advisors, assistants will be boarding there with him as well.
Yeah, that's him. He's going up the stairs right there. We're going to watch him board the plane. I don't see anyone else with him. It looks like he's
and he's waving. Okay.
Yep. He turned and waved. So, by the way, he is expected to be released on bail, and he's expected to return to Florida, back to Mar-a-Lago, Tuesday night after the court proceeding is over. And once he returns to Mar-a-Lago, we're told that is when he will deliver some remarks. He's not expected to speak or have any kind of a speech while he's down in New York. All right, so we will keep an eye on things, of course. The big story here this week, today into tomorrow,